Yo, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. Now, I'm not in my normal shooting location. I was at a friend's. I had a black belt testing for my students the other day, and then we celebrated, and I came here, and I made a promise to myself I would no longer be lazy on Sundays, because sometimes, for those of you who are wondering why my Dr. Stone reviews don't come out, long story short, I get into some shit on Saturday, and then all Sunday I'm passed out, and I just don't have the time or energy to put out my reviews. But I'm trying to be more professional about stuff and making sure that I always get out these reviews, especially for even just the one or two people that legitimately enjoy them and look forward to them. So I am taking this a lot more serious. So I'm at my friend's house. I brought my camera, I brought my mic, my laptop. So I'm gonna do this review. Just finished reading the chapter. I'm excited to talk about it. If this is your first time on my channel, I would really greatly appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, bang that bell. Would mean so much to me. That way I can dedicate a lot more time to this once I start, getting this thing going, get the views coming in. So I appreciate you guys. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into the review. All right, guys, so chapter 212 of Dr. Stone, From Stone to Space, right? This chapter confirmed a lot of my suspicions. I'm not going to front. I'm really sad. I'm really disappointed. And I just want to make something clear off the bat. Like, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. I say this in a lot of my reviews for a lot of my other manga. Just because something doesn't go the way you personally want doesn't mean it's bad. Yes, Dr. Stone is not going at the pace I would like. Yes, I'm upset that it's been confirmed that this is the last arc. I think this chapter right now was the last chapter of the ongoing arc, and then the chapter 2 weeks from now, because we're getting a 2 week break, is going to be going into the last arc. But man, I just really can't believe, and I wasn't ready for this journey to be over so soon. And this chapter just really just confirmed and wrapped up all my suspicions and my fears of what was going to happen. We literally are right back. We start the chapter off right back in Treasure Island. We don't even get to spend too much time there, and we go straight to Ishigami Village. But before I start skipping ahead, let's review what happened in this chapter. It was, with all its faults, in my opinion, still a great chapter. So let me look at my notes real quick. So yeah, first off, we start at Treasure Island. We get to see the old homies, Suyo, who we not Suyo, Suyoi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The bald dude that became the leader. So we get to see him. We depetrify everyone there, and we see a bunch of old Japanese men we haven't seen before. And then I think Chrome or someone is asking, like, where did these guys come from? I think it's kind of obvious that what happened there was basically how originally the corrupt ruler was abusing his power with the Medusas and petrifying people. So I'm assuming he petrified all of the strong older generation in order to maintain power over them. And so these are the parents of a lot of the characters on this island that were depetrified and were working towards what we find out to be a secret mission for Senku. So when I was reading this, I was kind of confused because we find out another secret mission that the main island had. So when reading this, I was a little bit confused because we find out the secret mission of the main island, and I'll get to that later on in the review. But I was under the impression that this specific island, Treasure Island, had its own secret mission. However, it got a little bit disturbed because they got repetrified, and so obviously work got suspended, and they weren't able to continue working until Senku came back. But my theory is one of the last things that happened on this island last time we were here was they built a communication tower, right? And so something that's very crucial to space travel and, making sure you safely get there and, hopefully safely get back, even though Senku doesn't at this time have any, expectations of coming back. I think what it was they were building a way stable, sturdier communication signal that will be able to sent communications to space and back. Basically, a mission control, if you will. So that's my theory. Unless, of course, I just didn't understand, and Treasure Island and Ishigami Village were working on the same secret mission. If that's not the case, then I believe specifically Treasure Island is working on a communication tower for both a communication tower for space travel to create mission control. My only problem, or the only reason I would think that's not true is I just really feel as though we would have seen it. Like, even though construction only got halted when they got petrified, a communication tower is very tall. Uh, there's a big mountainous slope. So, like, I feel like it would have been a real landmark for them to have seen, or maybe the mangaka secretly hid it from us, but the characters themselves didn't know what the secret mission was. So I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. Just spitballing here. So after that, we quickly, barely, we got, I don't even know, like two, three chapters at Treasure Island. And then we immediately head over to uh, where it all began, Ishigami Village. We're back in Japan. Everyone's hype. And we instantly depetrify everyone there, right? And so immediately after being depetrified, Kohaku's sister Ruri picks her up, is lifting her, is joy to be reunited with her sister and whatnot. And something that I found to be truly interesting, and I'm glad Gin brought this up because it's as if Gin was reading my mind. I was like, damn, yo, has Ruri ever always been this strong? And I'm glad he brought that up. And like, it kind of makes sense, she's the sister of Kohaku, but I always kind of just felt like Kohaku was just like, unique in that she was strong. But then it reminded me of the fact that, when we first meet Ruri, she's weak and sick and dying, right? She had pneumonia at the time, and she wasn't in good straits. But as we found out, I had to recheck. We found out, like, after she got cured of her pneumonia by Senku, the first thing she does is like sprint into a field at like ridiculous speeds. So it's like, okay, before she had pneumonia, she was actually a really, really strong, maybe stronger than Kohaku chick. And so that was a nice little throwback, callback reminder for us as readers that like, Ruri's not weak or anything of that nature. Like, she was strong the whole time. She just had an illness. So some white beard shit right there. So after that, we get this really touching moment between Ruri and Chrome. If you remember, Chrome always had a thing for her, but he even competed in that one tournament for her hand in marriage because he didn't want, was it Magma at the time, to get her hand and all that stuff. And so he reveals to her that, hey, due to like all the petrification nonsense, we're the same age now. And so, like, we get to like swoon over these two lovers vicariously through Chelsea. And Chelsea is out here being a hot girl and like about to go like, what is it? How's that go? It goes Chrome and Ruri sitting in a tree. And like we get that, kind of childish elementary school, like making fun of the two people crushing on each other moment. But Chelsea gets shut down immediately because our group is trying to let him have his moment with her, trying to let him spit game, if you will. And it's just hilarious because basically after they reveal that, hey, he has a crush on her, he's like, or that he loves her, he's like, well, everyone loves her, blah blah blah. And she kind of takes it personally because she's like, she clearly likes him too. And in Japan it's a big thing to like confess your feelings. And so it's not just enough to like know or like have a inkling or an idea that this person likes you. Like, confessing it holds so much weight and gravitas to it. And so like for him to be like, what are you talking about? Everyone loves her. It makes it less sincere. It makes her go like, oh, so I guess like you see me like everyone else. And that's obviously not the case, but Chrome still hasn't matured mentally in that regard. So that was really sad. That was really funny, but I like how it holds true to these characters, and it'll provide a great payoff later on in the chapter or the end of the series when they inevitably get together. Also, Kenny, speaking of it stays true to the characters, earlier when Ruri picks up Kohaku, he refers to them as gorillas, and Kohaku swiftly comes over and beats his head, yo. He has all these knots on his head. Once again, what a great callback. I feel like we haven't gotten one of those moments in a long time, so it was really nice to have. So anyway, there was something that I was really intrigued about. Like when we first see the petrified people in Ishigami Village, they're surrounded by these rock walls, and I was like, how did they have time to put these up? Like if like the Medusa was coming, did they get a warning? Did they like scatter? I don't understand, because two things I noticed. One was the wall, and that they were all in the defensive petrification positions, right, to protect themselves. And I was like, okay, the positions is real easy. You can see the light coming. You guys have experienced it before. You guys know what it is, and so they went down. They went down to protect themselves so that they wouldn't get shattered. Because as we know, if you're missing pieces and stuff like that, when you get petrified, it's when you get revived, you're not going to be able to be revived. And so that was, it's a great way to protect you and preserve yourself in case something happens. And they have no clue how long they're going to be petrified for. But the stone wall was the thing that confused me. And we find out that it was actually what are their names? It was Chalk and Sahara, the pets on the pets of Soika, which I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. I totally forgot they existed. I forgot about them as characters. As soon as I remember them, I was like, oh snap, it's them. But at the time I had no clue. And it appears that, because animals cannot get petrified, which, by the way, I really hope we get more background and exposition on that. But because animals can't get petrified, they spent the time that these guys were petrified building a wall around them to protect them, because, this is their family, these are their loved ones, and that they care about them. These guys are really loyal. And so for 10 years, they've been looking after these guys. So, shout outs to them. So we have so many unsung undercover heroes in this series. So I don't know, that was a really, really touching moment for me. Also, just to keep the feels going, we found out that during that time period, both of them have, created families. By the way, we don't see did we see the parents? I feel like I should look over it, but I feel like we didn't see we know they have families now, but who did they mate with? We don't really see the mates too well. But anyway, we have this really touching moment where it's all right, well, our job is done. It's time for us, to get back at it, to go take care of our families. And then it's completely subverted when food is mentioned. They bring out food and chow for them, and they just return. And I was like, what was the point of that dramatic, kind of conclusionary, goodbye? And they're like, what? Food? All right, bet. We're coming right back. I don't know. That really cracked me up. That was really endearing. I really like that a lot. And so for the rest of them, they make one of the biggest staples of Japan, sushi. We had onigiri earlier, just a taste of Japan, and now we have one of the biggest staples, one of the biggest well-known, recognized dishes around the world from Japan, sushi. That was really cool, and just everyone is excited. Everyone's freaking out that they get to have sushi, right? So we finally get to find out about what the secret mission was of everyone at Ishigami Village. And it turns out they were building a gigantic dam. When Senku left, he left them with blueprints to build this dam. Now, once again, I know I sound like a broken record when I get into this. Suspension of disbelief. I think it's a little bit crazy that they made a dam that well based upon blueprints when, obviously, they've never constructed anything like this before, and they didn't even have their master craftsman. Kaseki has been with Senku the entire time, so for them to have been able to create something this intricate, I know that there have been dams, he said, since 1000 BC, and even in the 21st century, we still had dams based off this design. I get it, but still, I was just like, are you serious? You guys were able to build all this with rocks and what did they use? Bamboo rebar. It looks beautiful. It looks dope. And now we're going to get a lot of, hydroelectro energy going, enough to produce the aluminum that they've collected. So I'm gonna go with it because it was necessary for the story. But I was like, wow, that's rather impressive for like the people at this village that have never like used science before, that like, you know, kind of like made fun of Chrome because of his scientific interest, to create something like this on the scale they created it as well as they created. Because like honestly, it would have been nice if it looked shoddy, but this thing looked like master crafted. So props to them. So anyway, this really looks like the last chapter in the arc. I wouldn't like, I thought like my predictions last time was it looks like they're gonna have the rocket ship built in 2 chapters, and I seem to be right. Like, if this isn't the last chapter and there's one more, I assume that rocket will be done, but this looks like the end of an arc, and then, you know, we're gonna do a time skip and the rocket's gonna be done, the electro dam's gonna be ready. Possibly we're just gonna have like Zeno and everyone from Corn City either, I don't know, they might either stay where they are or come over and join us, and we're not going to get to see that process. They're just going to be there. But yeah, it's time to go to the moon, and I'm rather excited. I can't wait for where the series goes. I can't wait for you know, getting there, the journey that is getting there, how it happens, how well we do it. Meeting Y-Man, if Y-Man is even a person or possibly a computer program. It would make sense if it was an AI because it survived so long. I had that theory that if it's not an AI, it could have been constantly doing a process of petrification and repetrification in order to prolong its life and monitor things. There's a lot of ideas at work here. We're gonna find out why they're doing this. That's my main thing. Like, why is this all happening? Why are you petrifying us? Is there a greater danger than you? I don't think at this point there's going to be a greater danger than Y-Man, because honestly, like I said, we got confirmation this is the last arc, so this is the end of that. So yeah, man, I'm super excited to see how this story ends. And you know, even though it's been a rush, I know that the mangaka clearly cares about this series and is going to wrap it up well. I have no qualms about that. Do I think this could have lasted, you know, for many years? Yes, but you know, sometimes, you know, some things don't need to be dragged out. So we'll leave that there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. This has been Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. Please like, share, and subscribe. Join my League of Otaku. It would mean the world to me. And I'll see you guys for Dr. Stone in 2 weeks. And if you're here from any of my other reviews, I'll see you next week. Have a great day. Take care. Peace.